Hello YouTubers, welcome to another Generation Behind Hi-Fi video, and today I'm reviewing my Sonus Faber Venere S speakers. The S model, also known as the Signature, is the only model from the Venere line whose cabinet is handmade in Italy. The S also features technology from their more expensive Olympica line. The mid and bass drivers feature die-cast-free compression baskets, and the tweeter uses an apex dome design, which is common in their more upscale ranges. At $5,000 a pair, these speakers aren't considered cheap by most people, but considering the trickle-down technology they have, they could be considered the value king of the brand. Are they? Let's find out. Not to sound too biased, but the truth is I have always wanted a pair of Sonus Fabers, and when I looked at offerings from other brands in this price range, most are still using rather boring, boxy cabinet designs. Ugh. I knew there was no way my wife would allow me to plop such a boring and conventional box in our living room. What I needed is something sleek, sexy, and artsy. I knew she would like that. When I showed her pictures of the Venere S speakers, she agreed. They looked nice, almost like pieces of art, she said. She loved the curved cabinets and the beautifully finished piano black finish. However, the one thing she was surprised about was the size. I'll admit, these speakers are rather tall, but I prefer big speakers that make a statement. So fellas, if you need what I call a WAS, or wife acceptable speaker, then definitely let her know about the height, or I guess let it be a surprise. To give you a comparison, these speakers come in at 49 inches in height, whereas my B&W 802 Diamonds come in at 44 inches. Either way, these speakers look amazing in our living room, and they definitely look like I spent a heck of a lot more on them than I did. Now for the nitty-gritty. The Venere S features 3 bass drivers made out of aluminum. The mid-range is made out of what Sonus Faber calls Curve, which is special thermal-formed polypropylene fiber. Curve is a mix of polypropylene and textile and is used for a combination of rigidity, low weight, and dampening properties. The high frequencies are reproduced by a soft dome tweeter made out of silk and is decoupled from the rest of the drivers to prevent any unwanted vibrations from ruining the sound. The Venere S has an RMS power rating of 300 watts and a frequency response from 40 Hz to 25,000 Hz. I'm a little surprised by the 40 Hz rating because in my listening area the speakers sound like they could go lower. Unfortunately, I don't have any measuring equipment to back up this claim. Another nice feature is these speakers are extremely efficient to drive with 90 dB sensitivity. So if you're thinking about needing a huge amp to drive them, the answer is no. For giggles, I hooked them up to a Harman Kardon AVR55 receiver that is rated at 55 watts per channel and was surprised how clean they still sounded. As for build quality, I think the Venere S is on par with other speakers I've had in this price point. However, what Sonus Faber offers at this price point that other brands don't is the attention to detail that they put into each speaker. From the curved cabinets to the beautifully machined metal bases, give the speakers a look and feel as if you spent twice what you did on them. Not too many manufacturers can pull this off. If you have always wanted a set of Sonus Faber Olympicas but didn't want to fork over the $10,000 price of admission for a set of floor standers, then the next best thing is the Venere S. The Venere S will get you about 85 to 90% of that famous Olympica 2 sound for half the price. Sonus Faber has recently discontinued the Venere line, so there are some amazing deals to be had on these speakers right now. At the discounted prices that some of these dealers are blowing them out at, it's hard to think of another brand of speaker that even comes close in performance. Before I picked up my Venere S speakers, I wanted to compare the Olympica 2s versus the Venere S. I was really surprised by how much the Venere S sounded like the Olympica 2s. Considering there's a $5,000 price difference between the two speakers, it was obvious I was at the point of diminishing returns. While the Olympica 2s had smoother highs and a more detailed mid-bass driver, the problem was it lacked bass that the Venere S have. To me, the Venere S felt like a more complete package. It has nice deep bass, and although the tweeter and mid-bass weren't as nice as the ones in the Olympica 2s, they were still very impressive. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I felt the tweeter and mid-bass wasn't worth the extra $5,000, especially considering I would need to purchase a subwoofer for the Olympica 2s to get the kind of deep bass that I like. In my opinion, what you're paying for in the Olympica line is the beautifully finished cabinets. The cabinets in the Olympicas are on a whole nother level compared to the Venere. This was the first time I was able to see an Olympica speaker up close, and the level of detail that was put into each cabinet was simply amazing. They really are beautiful speakers to look at, and those string grills are like nothing I've ever seen before. My wife and I thought they were very cool. So with that being said, we felt the Venere S offered the better value for what we were looking for. I'm very happy with my purchase, and honestly, can't think of another speaker that even comes close at the discounted price I paid for them. Hopefully this review will give you an idea of how the Venere speakers perform. So long.